Hi everyone. As you're reading The Pearl, one of the things I want you to think about is that even though it's a really simple story and Steinbeck doesn't use incredibly difficult vocabulary or incredibly difficult sentence structure, he gives us a lot of really rich detail, and it allows us to imagine this very vividly, the setting of the story, but also by paying attention to that really vivid detail, we can make deeper connections and understand even more about the story than simply the plot. And so I'm going to give you one example of how we can carefully read a descriptive passage and come to even deeper conclusions about the novel. This particular passage is at the very beginning of the second chapter, and what we need to remember, the context that we need to put it in, is remember, Kino has just attempted to give the doctor what amounts to his life savings, which was 8 grubby little pearls that he handed to the doctor's servant in an effort to save his child. The doctor looks at those pearls and he decides that he is not going to help the child. And so Kino and his wife Juana do the only thing they know, and they wrap the baby up and they go off to work again. And what we know, because the name of the novel is The Pearl, is today he's going to find a really great pearl. But of course at this point he doesn't know that. So let's take a look at the detail Steinbeck gives us that helps us understand the themes that he's bringing out even more. So here we go. Although the morning was young, the hazy mirage was up. I think this word mirage is pretty important. When I think of a mirage, I think of something that, like in the middle of a desert when you think you see a river. It's something that doesn't actually exist. So it seems like in this morning, you might see things that do or don't exist. The uncertain air that magnified some things and blotted others hung over the whole gulf, so that all the sights were unreal and vision could not be trusted. This idea that vision cannot be trusted, right? Usually, think about what we always say. I know it's true, I saw it with my own eyes, but here's a place where what you see can't be trusted. So that the sea and the land had sharp clarities and the vagueness of a dream. Thus it might be that the people of the Gulf trust things of the spirit and things of the imagination, but they do not trust their eyes to show them distance or clear outline or any optical exactness. Now this is really interesting. Let's look at this again. The people of the Gulf trust things of the spirit and things of the imagination, but they do not trust their eyes. Okay, so we've got imagination. Oops, sorry about that. Imagination trumps, we could say vision. We could also say reality, right? This is a different world than the world we live in, right? Across the estuary from the town, one section of mangrove stood clear and telescopically defined, while another mangrove clump was a hazy black-green blob. Again, great visual image. Sometimes it's perfectly clear, sometimes it's just hazy, right? And of course, mangroves isn't something we hear about a lot. I looked it up, of course. When I don't know something, I want to see an image of what a mangrove is. It's kind of a shrub-like tree, right? So part of the shore disappeared into the shimmer that looked like water. There was no certainty in seeing, no proof that what you saw was there or was not there. And the people of the Gulf expected. All places were that way, and it was not strange to them. A copper haze hung over the water, and the hot morning sun beat on it and made it vibrate blindingly. All right, so this idea that there's no certainty in seeing, right? A life that with no certainty. And what we ultimately know is that he's going to dive in. He's going to be able to hold on to a pearl that's going to be the best thing that ever happened to him. and that, but do we trust things that we can hold and that we can see? Or when I think of him saying they trust things of the Spirit, already we've got an example. Kino trusts the music that he hears in his head. He doesn't trust people he sees in front of him. He doesn't trust material things. He trusts the imagination. That's really pretty interesting and pretty different from our culture, certainly.